on this edition of The Fifth Estate. We're in Dubai, in the city of gold, on the search for answers in the case of the Pearson Airport gold heist.
Canada's biggest airport was the scene of a multi-million-dollar heist of gold and other valuables.
So the loot was actually inside a cargo container, and it vanished shortly after it was unloaded from a plane.
This is something out of a movie.
In the spring of 2023, police say a group of suspects pulled off a brazen robbery, taking more than $20 million of gold from the Air Canada cargo facility, putting it into a truck, driving away, and then vanishing.
This story is a sensational one, and one which probably belongs in a Netflix series.
So what happened to all of that gold? Authorities say some of it may have ended up here in Dubai. We go inside Dubai's gold industry to find out how easy or hard it is to turn stolen gold into cash.
If you need to move illicit gold, Dubai is going to be on your menu of choices, and it's going to be high up on your menu of choices.
We look at 4 key suspects in the heist, a journey that takes us to rural Pennsylvania.
It's a very sought-after gun among the criminal element,
where police say gold became guns. Whoa. We go to the suburbs of Toronto. I just want to ask you about the gold heist.
Get away from me.
And finally, to a gated community here in Dubai. So we're going to try to talk our way in, past security, in a place where people go to disappear. When was the last time you saw him?
I'd rather not answer that. Thank you for coming.
Okay. The untold story of the men accused of the biggest gold theft in Canadian history. I'm Stephen D'Souza. This is The Fifth Estate. A short drive through the glittering streets of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates takes us to a nearby industrial park, to a nondescript building. Through this door, gold is processed, melted, poured, cast, carefully weighed, and then packaged for delivery. Part of a regulated legal industry that sees billions of dollars of the precious metal move in and out of the city. But behind the glittering towers, there's a darker side, which Canadian police have said, and we will show, could play a key role in the gold heist investigation.
There's a reason why we picked today for this announcement.
April 2024, exactly 1 year to the day. Police in Peel Region, west of Toronto, invited the media to boast about their success in this headline-grabbing case.
This one is a carefully planned and well-organized group of criminals from both inside and outside of airport facilities that orchestrated this theft.
Police were proud to show off the evidence, from photos to the truck used in the heist.
Our investigation involves a stolen quantity of gold and foreign currency that were ordered from a refinery in Zurich, Switzerland.
The Fifth Estate has pieced together how, with no violence, no guns, police accuse this group of driving away with a fortune. April 17, 2023, 3:56 p.m. The Air Canada flight carrying that gold and cash lands on the tarmac in Toronto. The cash is destined for the Vancouver Bullion and Currency Exchange, while the gold has been ordered by TD Bank.
Shortly after, the gold and currency were offloaded from the aircraft and brought into Air Canada cargo facility.
5:50 p.m. The container is in the warehouse. Security camera video shows what happened next. 6:23 p.m. A white 5-ton cargo truck pulls up to the facility. The driver backs up to the loading dock and gets out.
The suspect was carrying a fraudulent airway bill as he approached the warehouse. The image you see is the actual airway bill that the suspect produced.
That airway bill was actually for a shipment of seafood that was picked up the day before. According to police, someone with access to a printer inside the Air Canada warehouse printed the old way bill and altered it. 7:04 p.m., the driver is in the warehouse and heads to open the cargo door. 7:27 p.m., a forklift arrives with that precious cargo. Like they do hundreds of times a day, they load the truck. 7:30 p.m., the truck drives away. From the moment the plane landed, the operation took just 3.5 hours. At 9:30 p.m. that evening, a Brinks truck arrives to pick up the gold, but it's already long gone. At 2:43 a.m. the following morning, Air Canada calls the police and reports the theft.
The gold was valued at approximately $20 million Canadian based on current market value.
When you first heard about the gold heist, what was your reaction?
Initially it was shock, and then after that it's sort of understanding that this sort of thing is due to happen and potential to happen just due to flaws in the system.
Clayton Castellino is president of a customs clearance business in Toronto. He's familiar with the Air Canada cargo warehouse and its procedures.
There's definitely some holes in their security protocols.
In his experience, he says you only need 2 items to pick up a shipment at the warehouse. The first is a letter.
That could just be a handwritten letter on the receiver's letterhead stating, I authorize Air Canada to release so-and-so shipment to the carrier for pickup.
And in the past, when you've done that, how scrutinized is that? How closely do they look at that?
It is not very scrutinized.
The second is the airway bill with the correct airway bill number. The gold heist thieves needed both.
That tells you that they had an understanding of the processes.
It's almost like a key to open the vault, that number.
Essentially, yeah. The information is, I guess you could say, worth its weight in gold, right? Yeah.
Once the gold was loaded, checking security camera footage from 225 different residences and businesses, the police tracked the truck's movements. It leaves the cargo facility. A camera at a truck leasing company catches it heading toward the highway.
Westbound on Highway 401. We continued to follow the truck and checked each exit that Highway 401 intersects with. This continues into Halton Region as the truck passes James Snow Parkway, and we observe the truck exit at Bronte Road and go northbound on Bronte Road.
A camera from a local church is the last image we have of the getaway.
Eventually, as the truck travels north of Milton, it becomes more rural, and we lose sight of the truck.
The truck might have disappeared, but not all was lost. The driver made a crucial mistake. Look closely at the video. He takes off his glove. At some point, he left a fingerprint behind.
I spoke about the fraudulent airway bill when we were alleging the driver produced. Through forensic examination and through other police techniques, we identified King McLean as the driver early on in the investigation.
Police had identified the alleged driver, Durante King McLean. But it would take several months and a twist of fate hundreds of kilometers away before police would track him down. That would eventually help lead them to 8 other suspects. At the time, police issued Canada-wide warrants for 3 of the men.
Good morning, this is Nitin Chopra from Prime Asia TV. Chief rightly said that this is a movie scene and it must go to the Netflix, and we suggest that Peel Police should keep the copyrights before sending to the Netflix. I tell you, in 1 week, 10 jewelry stores got robbed. So
Nitin Chopra is a prominent community journalist based in Brampton, west of Toronto. It's home to a large South Asian community and some of the suspects. We teamed up with him to investigate the heist.
You raised an excellent point.
Chopra gets big interviews, chiefs of police, and active politicians. Even the man seeking to be the next Prime Minister of Canada.
Mr. Foley, another important issue of the mortgage payments.
His main beat, exposing crime. His social media feed is full of it, from jewelry heists to murders caught on camera.
What was the discussion in the community when they saw the pictures of the suspects?
There was a shocking, these people, these bad apples, destroyed the image of our community. All the faces are from South Asian community. That is frustrating, Stephen. That is frustrating.
Chopra has been covering this case since the beginning. paying close attention to the evidence unveiled by police.
These lists were found at 2 separate locations. We believe these lists actually show where the money was distributed when the gold was sold by the suspects. Investigators seized 6 cruelly made gold bracelets that resemble bangles. The total value of these 6 gold bracelets is over $89,000. Smelting pots, casts, and molds. These are commonly used in the industry to change the composition of gold.
One man is connected to those tools.
There are a lot of jewelry stores and across the
With
city
Chopra's
also
help,
there are many,
we
but
track
this is one
down
of the
Ali Raza, the man police call a jewelry store owner. His lawyer advised him not to do an interview with us, but he did give us exclusive access to the basement of his shop.
So any jeweler you go to, the basement, they have the same thing?
Yeah,
Same thing.
He says his equipment can fix and repair jewelry and melt only small amounts. To prove it, he had one of his employees demonstrate.
The gold bars that were stolen, that's not something you could work on here?
No.
These kind of gold melts, we cannot do it. We can just do one small ring, we can melt it, but not this gold bars.
Police say Ali Raza was brought in by this man, Amit Jalota, to melt the stolen gold.
His only connection to any of the suspects is this one text message with Amit Jalota's name in it?
Yes, so Ali Raza was saying that many customers come to his shop, and this Jalota guy, police found a phone number that Ali Raza sent a text message, Jalota customer want this design of rings.
Raza says Jalota was a customer of his, but that's all.
Ali Raza said it is not possible even in Canada to melt that gold. He said that gold might have gone to Dubai.
So a key suspect claims police have the wrong place, the wrong man. What about the other 8 accused? When we come back. How an alleged gun smuggling operation foiled by police in the US brought breakthroughs in the gold heist investigation in Canada. Rural, windswept Pennsylvania, Interstate 81. By the end of summer 2023, it had been more than 4 months since thieves had pulled off the brazen Toronto gold heist. Then, September 2nd, 12:23 a.m., near mile marker 20, a keen-eyed state trooper notices a gray Nissan Sentra driving suspiciously. The Fifth Estate obtained the police report of the incident. In it, police say the car touched the fog line 3 times within a few seconds. Its behavior consistent with the operator looking in his driver's side rear mirror at my marked patrol vehicle. Flicking on the emergency lights, the trooper signals the driver to pull over. The man behind the wheel hands over an Ontario driver's license. Turns out it's none other than Durante King McLean, the suspected driver in the Toronto gold heist. The Nissan is a rented vehicle from Florida, and the trooper discovers the contract is expired. Under Pennsylvania law, that gives police the right to search it. This is the spot along the highway where King McLean was pulled over. Police say when they opened the trunk, they found that the spare tire wasn't in its regular compartment. Instead, there were 2 bags. They say when they opened one of the bags, that's when they found guns wrapped in white socks. That's when King McLean took off, running from the side of the highway through this space here. Eventually, police took him down in the middle of that road right there. Little did authorities know at the time, they had just uncovered a key piece in the gold heist investigation. Back in Ontario at that police press conference, a U.S. federal agent joins Canadian police to mark a major seizure, 65 firearms.
A court-authorized search warrant for the vehicle led to the recovery of those firearms that were allegedly destined to be smuggled into Canada.
The ATF determined Durante King McLean had snuck into the U.S. illegally. He's facing federal charges for those guns found hidden in that trunk. He denies those charges.
I'm proud to say that we successfully put this international gun trafficking operation out of business.
We're on our way to Pittsburgh to meet a man who can help us understand how U.S. investigators helped establish a possible connection between the guns and gold. We meet up with Matt Regenton at a local gun range just outside the city. He worked at the ATF for 22 years.
It's a very sought-after gun among the criminal element.
How much would something like this be worth? If you're trying to sell this on the streets in Canada, how much would that be worth?
The streets of Canada, I would imagine it would be a lot more than $500 or $600. It might be a couple $1,000s.
In fact, we've learned each gun seized could be worth as much as $5,500 on the black market in Canada.
Go for it. There. That's a little more secure? Yeah. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Under Regenton's supervision, we tested firearms similar to the ones seized. We wanted to understand what made them so desirable and, in the wrong hands, incredibly dangerous. It felt pretty powerful.
So you're always covering your bases when you're examining a crime scene.
Today, Regenton teaches at Duquesne University in downtown Pittsburgh, where he's an assistant professor in the forensic science and law program.
Okay, remember our scale. Why is something like this such great evidence? Communications, internet history, who did they talk to?
He walked us through the U.S. indictment, in which prosecutors say King McLean was talking to at least 2 other gold heist suspects. April 23, 2023, just 6 days after the gold heist. They say King McLean used an encrypted chat called Threema to communicate with Prasath Parmalingam, arranging for King McLean's illegal entry into the United States and making plans to meet up later. U.S. prosecutors allege Parmalingam went to New York to deliver money to King McLean. Authorities tracked King McLean to an Airbnb in Florida, where over a few weeks he allegedly bought the guns. Police then located him at a U-Haul facility in Georgia before he ended up in Pennsylvania.
You're showing the pattern of criminal activity, which did not only occur when King McLean was pulled over by the state trooper, it was all of the things leading up to it. Could see that one actually knocked me back a little bit.
I was going to say, you moved back a little bit there. Wow.
Among the cache of weapons seized, 2 particularly dangerous guns. Glocks illegally converted from semi-automatic to fully automatic. Basically, a machine gun.
Whoa.
How'd that feel?
That was a lot more powerful than the first one.
Gun safe?
Yeah, I could really feel like I was fighting it for control, and I could see that in the hands of somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. That's incredibly dangerous.
Yep.
Yeah. We came to the courthouse in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. This is where Durante King McLean's trial was scheduled to begin today, January 6th. But it was delayed at the last minute. We've learned that's because the 2 sides are working on a potential plea deal. The question now is, how much will he say about his alleged role in the gold heist? Will the suspected driver become the driving force in the prosecution of the other suspects? If King McLean makes a deal in Pennsylvania and says he played a part in the gold heist, that could be a game changer for the case in Canada. That's because Peel police say there's a straight line between what happened in the US and the theft at the airport.
We believe that they've melted down the gold, and then the profits they got from the gold they used to help finance purchasing the illegal firearms, and that's how the gold money has now kind of worked into the firearms trafficking aspect of the investigation.
As we looked at the investigations in the US and Canada, it appeared some of the suspects were facing allegations linked only to events after the heist took place. That left us with 3 men our investigation will show are suspected of being key members.
I just want to ask you about the gold heist.
That's coming up, but first, we head to Dubai, where police say the suspects may have taken some of the gold.
We believe, like just as Gord said, a large portion has gone overseas.
and we follow up on a lead in the search for one of the missing suspects.
Hey, my name's Steven D'Souza. I'm with CBC, Canadian Broadcasting.
We've come to Dubai searching for answers in the largest gold heist in Canadian history. Police have suggested this is where some of the stolen gold ended up, and that Arslan Chaudhry, one of the key suspects, may be hiding out here. Our guide is Shamik Raja, a Canadian gold trader living in Dubai.
You see the Burj Khalifa coming up over here, so.
Yeah, just mesmerizing. It's mesmerizing.
Raja moved to Dubai from Calgary in 2008, lured by the promise of a business-friendly environment for all things gold.
The vaults that are underneath that are the most secure vaults in the world, and where most of the gold and most of the commodities are stored.
Raja started out buying his gold directly from mines primarily in Western Africa, a business that comes with risks. Those rope marks are from the time he was bound and robbed at gunpoint in Uganda. Today he spends most of his time in the relative safety of Dubai, famous for its luxury malls, futuristic landmarks, and endless displays of wealth.
What did you think when you heard about that gold heist at Pearson? What was your first reaction?
How can this be possible in this day and age? Like, that would never happen in Dubai. Like, what do you mean you just walked in with the truck and gave a fake airway bill? There's no chance that would work here.
Yeah.
When it comes to his gold business, Raja plays by the rules. He says it's a heavily regulated industry in Dubai.
Now, the police have said they think the gold may have come here. What do you think about that?
It's too funny because it's not so easy to bring gold here. You can't just like get it, put it in your suitcase and fly it into a plane and come. It's a total misconception that, oh, it just ends up in Dubai, you know?
But is that really the case? To find out, we turn to the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project based in Amsterdam.
We've come across a ton of unsavory characters, organized criminals, sanctioned individuals, etc., that own property in Dubai.
Karina Shidrovsky is their head of research and one of the coordinators of a recent major investigative project called Dubai Unlocked. It revealed a darker side of the city for those who don't play by the rules. Fugitives and organized crime figures from around the world flocking there to buy property and hide from authorities.
Beyond the glitz and glamour of Dubai, why is it such an attractive place for unsavory characters?
There's a number of reasons, one of which is kind of this culture of secrecy. You can buy property quite easily as well without many questions asked about the origins of the funds. You can fly into Dubai with a bag of cash.
Sources tell us Arslan Chaudhry, nicknamed Sonny, is likely hiding in Dubai. Canada does not have a formal extradition agreement with the UAE. It's also a country where freedom of the press is severely restricted, so finding him wasn't going to be easy. We could not find any definitive social media footprint for Chaudhry, and police have said he's very, very under the radar.
So I'm going to search the database for his full name and see what comes up.
Shidrovsky searched a leaked database of property ownership in Dubai obtained by the OCCRP.
I tried to run him through the databases as well of property owners in Dubai, and unfortunately I didn't get any hits.
Though it just proves how difficult it is to find somebody in Dubai, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Even when we have leaked property ownership data, sometimes we still can't locate people who have flocked there.
But that wasn't the end. We had a tip that Chaudhry had an old friend in Dubai, so we searched for that individual.
I was able to also obtain a rental certificate. This is really the smoking gun. It is a 5-bedroom villa, and you could see that someone with Canadian nationality is a tenant of this property.
A tenant whose name matches the person we're searching for. Could they help lead us to Sonny Chaudhry?
It's down this street here. So all the clues that we found online have led us to this neighborhood on the outskirts of Dubai. And We're just right now trying to navigate these pretty confusing streets, and we're not even sure if the address we have is the right one, but we're going to give it a try and see if we can find him. We found the man we think could help us locate Chaudhry. Hey, man. Hey, my name's Steven D'Souza. I'm with CBC, Canadian Broadcasting. I'm trying to find a friend of yours. I'm wondering if you might be able to help me out. Sunny Chaudhry?
Personally? We're not really friends. I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But, no, I have nothing to do.
Do you know if he's in Dubai or where I can find him?
No clue.
No?
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw him?
I'd rather not answer that. Thank you for coming, though.
Okay, so just want to talk to him and ask him about where the gold is.
I honestly don't want any contact with him, especially what's been in the news.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I'm not looking for him or anything like that. So I have no clue.
We found a possible connection to Arslan Chaudhry, but we're no closer to finding the man himself. Our journey in Dubai, however, wasn't over. We wanted to know what happened to the gold.
If you need to move illicit gold, Dubai is going to be on your menu of choices, and it's going to be high up on your menu of choices.
Jody Vittori is a professor at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., and an expert on international corruption. The former Air Force Lieutenant Colonel authored this report in 2020. It exposed a steady flow of illicit money moving in and out of Dubai, including gold.
Now, they do advertise their supposed very robust checks on that gold, but investigations time and again indicate that clearly illicit gold keeps coming in through Dubai.
A Swiss investigation found that in 2022, 66% of the gold imported from Africa into the UAE had been smuggled. An undercover investigation by Al Jazeera in 2023 backed that up, showing how international gold smugglers routinely use Dubai to hide their conflict gold.
Where we usually sell our gold is into the gold souk directly.
The souk, or market, is several square blocks filled with dozens and dozens of buyers and sellers.
It's the main hub of Dubai when it comes to the gold business. It comes again down to trust. So a lot of the guys know each other for 20, 25 years inside of the gold souk.
But is it possible to sell stolen gold here? To find out, we used hidden cameras and went into the market posing as gold dealers. Using this photo from the internet, we told buyers we needed to sell, but didn't have any paperwork verifying the origin of our gold.
Sorry, we not buy that one.
No? How come?
We buy only bars, kilo bars, 50 bars.
Yeah. Okay. And if it's melted, no?
But must need the papers.
Yeah, no papers.
Yeah?
No papers.
No papers, I think you know buy that one.
Okay.
A hard no at our first stop. Next, we went to a jewelry shop. They led us down a set of winding alleys to another shop.
You want to sell? Yeah.
This buyer doesn't seem bothered by our missing paperwork.
And as long as it's pure, so 999 if you're happy, but no other paperwork.
There is also no paperwork.
Yeah, but pure.
Pure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
But then he adds this wrinkle.
We have to call the police department also. That is now new rule.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you buy, right?
Despite the new rules, we approach a man outside another store who seems willing to look the other way.
What if I don't want paperwork?
You have a paper?
No, I don't want.
Without paper?
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. And no paperwork. Okay. Okay.
No papers, no problem. After 3 tries with no contacts, it appears we have a buyer for our supposedly questionable gold.
It's relatively easy to bring gold through Dubai under certain conditions. Once you do that, it's relatively easy to sell the gold. It's easy to get cash for the gold if you want cold hard cash.
And once gold changes hands, it could potentially end up at a refinery, just like this one.
Final product, pure gold.
Yeah. Vivek Mayor is the manager at the Palm Gold Refinery. Like Raja, when it comes to sourcing gold, Mayor is careful to play by the rules.
We are very much concerned about that one. So we want to know from where they sourced. If it is in the illegal area, we will not do any business with them.
Workers here are a well-oiled machine.
That's 1 kilo.
That's 1 kilo.
Yeah.
Straight out of the fire.
Later we will put our logo. It's not easy.
Wow, no, it's not easy. And how much is all of this?
This dollar more than 2 million.
More than $2 million.
Yes.
Wow.
But not all refineries in Dubai are as careful as this one. This past summer, the UAE suspended 32 refineries for failing to follow the rules. If the stolen airport gold was melted down, it would erase any hope of finding its origins.
Once particularly it's intermixed with other gold, it's gone through the refinery process, it's been stamped as from Dubai, it's pretty much untraceable after that.
When we come back,
I just want to ask you about the gold heist.
We track down a key suspect.
We have some new information we'd like to ask you.
And a major development in our investigation sheds new light on the case.
What the Crown was saying, what the court document says, is total opposite what they were saying.
We'd been investigating the heist for months when our work took an unexpected turn. A source close to the case shared an astonishing document, one that sheds new light on the investigation and offers new leads into what could have happened to the gold.
It's 42 pages and titled The Crown Statement of Allegations. It's labeled as a draft and was created back in June. Now we have to be careful. This is just a snapshot of the investigation. What's in here hasn't been tested in court or even entered with the court as far as we can tell. It does have evidence police gathered, including text messages and surveillance of the suspects, information that's never been broadcast, and shows the depth of a police investigation that's costing taxpayers millions of dollars. Let's start with Arslan Sunny Chaudhry. In the document, the Crown alleges he was the most involved in planning the theft, as well as orchestrating King McLean's flight to the US. He's allegedly referred to by others as the top dog. On the day of the heist, the Crown appears to have evidence that Chaudhry coordinated events from a hotel near the Air Canada warehouse. The Crown document says that day, Chaudhry texted or called the other suspects more than 800 times. The day after the heist, the document lists a WhatsApp exchange between Chaudhry and another suspect. The suspect writes to Chaudhry, "I'm so happy for you, bro. I can't even sleep, LOL. It's insane," writes Chaudhry. The suspect replies, "I'm f***ing going nuts right now. Holy shit." So you had a chance to read the document. What did you think?
Journalist Nitin Chopra has been helping our investigation. He says the allegations, if true, showed a lot of coordination by the accused.
My conclusion into that, all these people, those who were charged, they are interconnected, interlinked.
We met him at this Mississauga condo building where police believe Chaudhry lived. Remember the redacted debt list police showed off during their press conference? The document says it was found during a raid here. It also contains the unredacted version. It lists people and items like condo, boat, and $220,000 for Dubai. Remember, our search for Arslan Chaudhry brought us to Dubai.
There's so many Canadians here now.
To a former friend of his. A source close to the men who have been charged in the heist told the Fifth Estate that former friend and Chaudhry worked together in the past. The source believes the two men reconnected in Dubai.
Why would people say that Arslan was here with you? Did you know him from back in the day, or?
I knew him from back in the days, but I don't know why people would say he was me. I guess I've been in Dubai a really long time.
Yeah.
According to the Crown allegations, in August 2023, a suspect texts Arslan Chaudhry. jump on that plan today and go to Dubai, and refers to meeting someone with the same first initial as the individual we encountered. We tried to reach that person through a relative in Canada.
Yes?
Oh, hi, my name is Stephen D'Souza. I'm with CBC
Not
News.
interested, sir.
We just have to ask you a couple quick questions if we could.
No, thank you.
All right.
The individual has not been charged and is not considered a suspect in the gold heist. He sent a statement to the Fifth Estate saying the heist is a crime with which I have no involvement. Then there's Simranpreet Panesar. The Crown alleges he was the inside man, using his access at the Air Canada warehouse to identify the incoming shipment of gold. He also manipulated the Air Canada cargo system to facilitate the physical removal of the container. Chopra says if the allegations are proven, they're significant.
And then this guy, Panesar, he gave all the inside information to the Durante and to the boss, the top boss, the Arslan Chaudhry.
On the day of the theft, the Crown alleges Panesar was part of a message group with Chaudhry and another suspect. The next day, Panesar allegedly texted a colleague, "I think I'll be going to India for days off, just to get away a few days."
He has been known to us since early on in the investigation. He actually led a tour for Peel Regional Police before we knew his involvement.
Panesar was also their main point of contact at the start of the investigation.
3 months after the heist, Panesar resigned and left the country. The Fifth Estate has learned, at that point, police considered him a key suspect. They knew he was leaving, but investigators had to make a difficult choice: arrest him and risk alerting others involved, or do nothing and keep identifying potential accomplices. In the end, they let him go.
Panesar moved to India. The reason, according to the Crown document, to support his wife's acting career. It appears Panesar settled near Chandigarh in northern India. He's not laying low, posting on his Instagram account. One location comes up often: this balcony. Working with local journalists, we managed to locate the building pictured in that video. We sent a reporter in without a camera. He spoke to Panesar, who said he was innocent but declined an interview. Then we got this photo, taken a week later in the same area. Simranpreet Panesar, the alleged inside man. We're back in Canada, west of Toronto. This house is owned by the third key suspect in the heist, Amit Jalota. Police allege he facilitated melting the gold. He's accused of bringing in this man, Ali Raza, the jeweler. He denies any involvement. According to the Crown allegations, Jalota and Ali Raza messaged 28 times in the month after the heist.
Mr. Jalota?
We wanted to ask Amit Jalota directly about the allegations against him. We caught up with him recently outside of his home.
My name's Stephen, I'm with you. I just want to ask you about the gold heist. I'm not on you, I'm just on the sidewalk. We have some new information we'd like to ask you about. We just want to know if you were responsible for melting the gold. Where's Sunny? Is Sunny in Dubai? We just want to know more about what happened.
We seem to be no closer to finding out what happened to the gold. But the Crown document does have an interesting piece of evidence found in the home of one of the suspects. A handwritten estimate on letterhead from the jewelry shop showing large sums of money. And the Crown says it has evidence of a remarkable conversation, one that could explain what happened to a portion of the gold investigators believe was set aside to sell in Canada. The Crown says a suspect texted Arslan Chaudhry last June. They took all of it. Chaudhry replies, thought they would. Suspect, they get horny when they see it, haha. They can't let it go. But price dropped more today, but honored yesterday's price. They said it's about to be a shit show. Chaudhry, okay, proper. The Crown document offers this interpretation. The suspect is advising Arslan Chaudhry that he was able to sell all of the gold, they took all of it, to Ali Raza, and that he and the buyers honored yesterday's price despite the price dropped.
When I saw these messages,
if that evidence holds up, Chopra says it goes against what the jeweler told us.
I think they were lying at all, because what the Crown was saying, what the court document says, is total opposite what they were saying.
The case is still in the early stages as it works its way slowly through the courts. Only some of the suspects appear in person for routine hearings, and none have entered pleas in Canada. But for all of the new details, there are still plenty of unknowns. Where is Arslan Chaudhry, the accused top dog? Where will Simranpreet Panesar turn up next? And where is the missing gold? Was it melted? Sold? Wherever it ended up, it's likely never to be recovered.